That's one of the things. But you know, like everything these days also, a lot of people use for convenience, they want shelf life. So a lot of things. Try again?
Everything about it.
Stuart, can you tell me again about the things Canada?
Canadian, American, and Danish pork is coming in here, and they mass produce their pigs. I mean, if you have any issues, you know, like about current rates and so forth, they can issue. And so if we don't support it, it's as good as we buy.
Yeah.
But you can't have anything with a flavour. So it comes in the bone and it goes into which can't be sold fresh. So ordinarily the front end of a pig would go in as liquid. So you've got a very expensive pig because the price of grain is you can't get the front end of it. So that's why they go.
Stuart, there was a very infamous story last year about a company that was inserting
Australian leg bones
into imported.
I think it was one of the supermarkets, wasn't it?
No. It was one of the producers who'd since gone belly up, if you'll excuse the pun, and then has actually been rebought again. So they do exist. But surprisingly, one of the supermarkets refused to stock it because it was inappropriate. Woolworths wouldn't stock it. But that was it. Because the rule of thumb is all fresh pork is Australian. Any processed pork with a bone in it is Australian. If it hasn't got a bone in it, you've got to try and understand the bizarre labelling system that we have that tells you whether it's not. And these people used an overseas piece of ham and shoved an Australian bone in it.
And they were able to label it made in Australia.
Well, that's the whole
thing. Which means that 50% of the process to get it to market happened in this country. Didn't necessarily mean that the product originated here.
I mean, that's
only grown in Australia, or Australian grown product.
Because
it's going to be grown here.
If it says Australian, if it says, you know, you can have overseas nitrates, you can have overseas plastic, you can have overseas
GMOs in the feed, whatever.
You've got to read into it. It's sort of like when you look at soy milk, which in itself is bizarre because beans aren't lactating mammals, so they can't have milk. But I mean, soy milk, they'll say Australian soy, and it's like 20% soy powder and 80% Australian water. So therefore it'll be Australian soy. So I mean, the labelling's really odd. Yes. Well, it's essentially brining. It's if you brine meat, it's the same way, except that you use the same system as you do jet to make ham. And it was exactly
it's more than brining, it's pumping.
It's not pumping. It's it's a process. It's equivalent to brining to explain it. So what you were saying before about the loss of water is that when you cook pork, it'll lose 35% of its moisture when you cook it. All that does is it retains the moisture. So for certain things, it's extremely good. It's if you're barbecuing it and you're a classic Australian male who likes the flames to leap at 10,000 feet in the air, which is the natural enemy of a piece of pork. Or if you've got like a carvery and you've got a big slab of pork sitting under hot lights for 3 or 4 hours, that doesn't do pork any good either. These things work. This is the it hasn't got horses. Growing on expensive grain. That's why.
They sprint out and feed all day.
I just love the way he just took his hand and
But then it's interesting with the males, like, you know, you go to Italy and it's wild boar this and wild boar that. And I have to say, if anyone saw how wild boars eat, they wouldn't want to eat it at all. I'll never forget, we went to get got all the big sheets. Probably doesn't matter.